Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Allison Luthman.
And I'm Demi Johnson.
Ball State is one of two Mid-American Conference schools that does not offer gender-neutral housing.
Some students are working to change that. Reporter Caitlin Lang has more on the story.
After last year's Beneficence Dialogues, the Council on Diversity Inclusion released a report suggesting ways the university could foster diversity. Among their suggestions was to increase gender-neutral housing on campus. Housing and Residence Life is now studying the need for the option with the help of Student Government Association representatives. Bailey Laughlin, the pro temp for SGA, was among the group of students who brought up the concern to Housing and Residence Life.
A person can identify in a variety of ways that doesn't fit the binary of male and female. So when you categorize housing into male and female, you're really restricting people's ability to be comfortable with the person they are.
Shariza Wiskam is a transgender student and would be one of the students who could benefit from an updated housing policy. She lives on an all-girl floor in Johnson Hall, which she says has its challenges.
I don't know. I guess the biggest thing is just kind of the awkwardness that happens, just because there's kind of the clashing between what people expect, like in, I don't know, like an all-female or all-male dorm, they kind of expect a certain thing, and when someone doesn't kind of have that, it can kind of mess with people's head.
Alan Hargrave, the director of Housing and Residence Life, says, "To date, we have been able to address the concerns and needs of most of our students with a variety of living options." In Muncie, Caitlin Lang, NewsLink Indiana.
SGA expects to enroll legislation on gender-neutral housing within the next few weeks.
The officer in Oklahoma who shot and killed Terrence Crutcher was charged with first-degree manslaughter today. Meanwhile, the police shooting in Charlotte, North Carolina was caught on camera, but police say they don't expect to release the video to the public. Emily Schmidt has more. The Charlotte police chief says the video does not show evidence the victim pointed a gun.
First of all, I'm not here to defend a position. I'm here to give you some information.
Charlotte's police chief says his department wants to find the absolute truth of what happened before Officer Brentley Vinson shot and killed Keith Lamont Scott outside his vehicle Tuesday. We've seen pictures of what happened next, and Chief Putney says dash cam video tells more of the story. While not providing definitive evidence Scott pointed a gun at officers, he says the video shows Scott refusing to drop his weapon. Police say the Scott family wants to see that video.
What we're going to do is honor a request that has been made with the family.
But he says the public doesn't need to see it, calling it inappropriate to show footage of a victim's worst day.
What are you protecting?
Scott's death has led to two violent nights in Charlotte. Protests blocked Interstate 277 and the light rail, hurt 9 civilians.
Jerry, get out of there!
Caused at least 5 law enforcement officers to need medical attention and prompted the governor to deploy the state National Guard to control the chaos.
And those who destroy property or hurt other people will be dealt with, and I want to make sure the chief can do his job with the necessary resources.
A Charlotte resident who took these pictures of a vandalized van says he's afraid things will get worse before they get better in the state's largest city. Waiting to see what another night holds. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
And the Charlotte police chief says the video does not show evidence the victim pointed a gun.
The final addition to the National Mall opens this weekend in Washington, D.C. The Smithsonian's 19th museum is ready for its debut. The National Museum of African American History and Culture is shaped like a traditional African headdress. It also includes a facade inspired by ironwork done by slaves. It spans over 400 years and has 30,000 artifacts.
Remember all these people who have been left out of the history, so that therefore their lives matter, their stories matter. And then I think the other thing you do is realize that this is framed in a way that says this is everybody's story. It's not black people's story, it's a story of America.
The finishing touches are still being made, but the museum opens its doors on Saturday.
The Ball State University Program Board kicks off the first day of fall with their annual Fall Fest. Allie Edmonds is live on campus with more about the festival.
My name is Allison Edmonds, and I am here right outside La Follette on La Follette Field for UPB's annual Fall Fest activities. Now, there's a lot going on. As you can see behind me, there's bungee jumping, there's inflatables. We have people painting pumpkins. Everything's going on. There's free food. Everything is free to Ball State students. The students are lined up here, ready to enjoy the event. And here with me now, I have Jasmine Wilson. She's the director of the special events for UPB. Jasmine, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Now, can you tell me what happens at Fall Fest?
Well, Fall Fest is just a fun event to kick off the first day of fall. So right now we're just having some fall-themed food. So we have caramel apples, little personal pies, such as like pumpkin pie, pecan pie, blueberry pie, just a bunch of different flavors. And we have chili. And then as you see, we have a corn maze back there, laser tag, Euro bungee. You can paint little pumpkins to take home with you and make dream catchers.
Okay, well, sounds like a good time. What would you tell students to encourage them to come out to Fall Fest today?
I mean, everything is free, so like, why not come out, have fun? What else are you doing on a Thursday evening? So just come out, enjoy the festivities.
All right, well, that wraps it up for me here at Fall Fest. It's a perfect day to kick off the first day of the season. Again, it's free to Ball State students and $1 for guests. Here live, Allison Edmonds, NewsLink, Indiana.
Fall Fest is open to Ball State University students.
You know, Allie, it is the first day of fall today, but it doesn't really feel like it out there yet. Taylor, what can you tell us?
Well, guys, like you said, it's not your average fall temperatures. We are really experiencing these high summer-like weather, actually. It's feeling more like 85 degrees and a dew point of 56. So it's still really bright and sunny, kind of similar to summer, actually. Looking more into what I will be talking about in the future in the main forecast. These warm temperatures are sticking around for the next several days. We do have a couple of slight rain chances. Also, I know many of you guys are looking forward to these fall temperatures, so I'll tell you more about that when the time comes.
In case of a shortage of the overdose drug naloxone, the Indiana Department of Health has put a plan in place. Officials say they will have 50 doses in each of Indiana's 10 public health districts for first responders to use in case they run out of the drug. The $100,000 cost of the drug repository will come from a grant. The grant comes from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It was given to the health department in August.
An Indiana University football player was arrested today on 2 counts of child molestation. Keontae Ennis, a former standout athlete at Winchester High School, was arrested after sheriff deputies received information about a possible relationship between Ennis and a girl 13 years old or younger. Ennis made 0 appearances in the Hoosiers' first 2 games because of concussion-like symptoms. He has since been released from the team and is currently being held at the Randolph County Jail on a $20,000 bond.
One of the largest cyber hacks has occurred. Yahoo says data associated with at least 500 million user accounts have been stolen. The company says it believes a state-sponsored actor was behind the data hack, meaning an individual acting on behalf of government. The hack is believed to have occurred in late 2014. Yahoo says account information stolen may include names, email addresses, phone numbers, dates of birth, passwords, and security questions and answers. Yahoo users are urged to change their passwords and security questions and review their accounts for suspicious activity. If you've been around downtown Muncie, you might have noticed cigarette butts clogging the cracks of sidewalks.
Coming up, see what local businesses are doing to combat the problem.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
If you head to downtown Muncie, you may notice the new brick sidewalks that are being installed, but a problem has some downtown business owners upset. Abby Lutz is live with the story.
Sidewalks here on Walnut Street, but if you take a closer look, you'll see cigarette butts stuck in the cracks of these bricks. Now, these are worse in some places than others. They're especially bad in places with outdoor seating like you see behind me, but it's up to the business owners to get these cigarettes out, and some of them are getting creative. Torrin Scott was glad to see the new brick pavement in front of his business.
I was excited to see the improvement of the material when they redid it.
But he isn't so excited about how many cigarettes he found.
So I would find cigarette butts all over the place.
Executive Director of Muncie Downtown Development, Vicki Veach, says this problem isn't much of a surprise. She says, quote, "The problem with debris in the cracks of the sidewalks was discussed in the early stages of construction. The project manager recommended that the city wait until the project was complete. And when the project is complete, she says the city plans to fill the cracks. But for now, it's up to business owners to keep the cigarettes from accumulating outside their doors. And Scott has come up with his own way to combat the issue.
I just went to Lowe's and bought PVC and had it turn and then spray painted them dark and had the girls put Stash or Ash on it because we were trying to come up with something funny.
The pipes have been up for a couple months now. Scott says they appear to be working.
And they seem to be helping. I only go out there once a month now, where I was going 2 or 3 times a month, so it's nice. Less work for me.
And Veach says she hopes the smokers themselves will be more responsible and thoughtful when it comes to littering the streets and sidewalks. Veach says the best way to get the cigarettes out is with a leaf blower. She says the city of Muncie has no plans for ongoing maintenance. They plan to address the issue when the project is complete in a couple of weeks. Reporting live in Muncie, Abby Lutz, NewsLink, Indiana.
Veach says if business owners want to have outdoor seating, they will need to get a permit, saying they'll maintain the seating area and provide trash receptacles. The final permitting process has not been finalized, but will be in place for next year.
Indiana has a new license plate. The Indiana Bureau of Motor Vehicles announced today that a red-covered bridge will now be featured on Hoosiers' license plates. More than 331,000 people chose among 3 designs at the state fair and BMV branches. 54% of voters picked the covered bridge over 2 white plates. One said the Hoosier State and the other said Crossroads of America. The new plate is set to come out in January.
An American astronaut may be voting for the next president in space. NASA astronaut Kate Rubins said she doesn't know if she'll return to Earth before the election in November. Rubins is at the International Space Station with her 2 crewmates from Russia and Japan. Rubins and the other astronauts cannot leave the space until the next crew arrives. The Russians have delayed the upcoming launch for technical reasons. Rubin requested an absentee ballot before she left for space in July, just in case she could not make it home in time.
Today is National Ice Cream Cone Day, and here's the scoop. It may be the first day of fall, but summer's favorite treat is in the spotlight. The history of the ice cream cone is controversial. No one can say for sure who the inventor is. The recipe shows up in French cookbooks dating back to 1825. They were originally called Little Waffles. Ice cream cones debuted at the World's Fair in St. Louis in 1904. And that ice cream could certainly come in handy during this warm week. Temperatures are here to stay.
And after the break, we'll take a look at how long to expect this warming trend. Your weather forecast is next.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end. And lights. Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
You know, Allie, it's been so warm outside, and I heard that fall weather might be coming, but actually I heard today that it's gonna keep staying warm.
It's getting a little hard to believe it's fall. Taylor, can you tell us more what we're looking at this weekend?
Yeah, Allison and Demi, like I said, these fall hot temperatures are going to be lingering on for the next several days. Today we are in the upper 80s with a high of 86, feeling more like 85 with a dew point at 56. So pretty hot, but really still pretty comfortable. Looking at these national temperatures, Minneapolis 68 degrees, in the West Coast, Los Angeles 73 degrees, and in Dallas a hot 93 degrees. Looking on in Muncie, we are at 86 degrees right now. In Indiana, it's very similar all over. We have Bloomington 85 degrees, Terre Haute 83 degrees, and Indianapolis with 85 degrees as well. So like I said, pretty similar temperatures all over. Looking at the satellite radar, we have pretty clear skies. Not too much going on, but these clear skies are moving on from this Illinois area. This precision cast. Now this precision, we do have a little rain coming in from the Illinois area. However, it's not going to affect Muncie as much because it's going to be lingering on in the north part of Indiana. Going on to what's happening tonight. Tonight is very calm and clear skies with 62 degrees, so pretty comfortable, not too hot and not too cold. Looking at our 7-day forecast, tomorrow we have 88 degrees. For the weekend we have Saturday 8 degrees of 85 and 86 degrees, so pretty comfortable temperatures. Moving on to the weekdays, we have Monday 83, and going on to these temperatures lowering in 75 degrees on Tuesday, Wednesday 73 degrees, and Thursday 73 degrees as well. So pretty hot temperatures going on for fall.
I'm happy that it's nice out, but I was getting pretty excited for the fall weather to start so I can change my wardrobe.
It has been nice. And while we're speaking of hot weather, a local football team is off to a hot start.
And the Ball State Cardinals have a full slate of athletic events this weekend. Your NewsLink Indiana Sports Update is next.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family.
And I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. All day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
The Muncie Bearcats are going into the midway point in the season with unprecedented success. With a tough game coming up this week against Harrison, the Bearcats are trying to keep the hype in check. Muncie Central football is currently 5-0 and will face Harrison Friday at 7 p.m. in their toughest match of the season. Harrison is currently on a 3-game win streak and bring the toughest defense the Bearcats have faced this season. Luckily, Muncie Central has the tools to succeed offensively. A near-perfect balance on offense between passing and running this season allows the team to play to their opponent, instead of having to rely on one aspect of the offense, which offensive coordinator Mike Paul says is something the players know how to read.
There's an offense, if they only have, a four in the box or whatever, we're gonna have to run the ball. If they have 6 or 7 in the box, we're gonna be throwing the football. So it's a numbers game for us all the way through.
This system allows for a versatile offense. One of the key players to allow such versatility is senior quarterback Trenton Hatfield, who has over 1,100 yards passing and over 500 yards rushing.
Every week we try to focus on the new defense. We always try to say it's the best team that we played, and especially this game, this is probably the best defense we've played. They're really they're strong and they're really smart, and we just got to watch film, get to know that defense, see tendencies and stuff like that, and just try to be as prepared as we can.
Senior Jameel Barnes plays both sides of the ball. A wide receiver on offense with 237 yards receiving. He also leads the team defensively with 3 interceptions. Barnes knows there is a lot of hype, but the team is ready to perform in front of what should be a large crowd.
So there's a lot of what do I say? Not maybe pressure, but there's a lot of people coming to the game, so we want to show up and show out like we always do.
The Bearcats are currently ranked 64th in the state. A win this weekend would certainly continue their ascension, but as Hatfield says, they're looking at the big picture, not individual wins. Muncie Central is currently playing well above the national average in nearly every category. They continue to look to continue their success on Friday. Switching over to college football, the Ball State football team will travel down to Florida Atlantic University to take on the 1-2 Owls. On paper, Ball State is at an advantage in every stat over FAU. This will be the second trip to the South this year for the Cardinals, who opened the season against Georgia State. A win could mean the Cardinals come into conference play with a winning record when they play rival Northern Illinois. The Cardinals take on the Owls Saturday at 6 p.m. This Friday also marks the start of women's conference play for Ball State soccer and volleyball. Entering the Mid-American Conference play this weekend with a 5-2-1 record, the Ball State soccer team cracked the top 50 in the NCAA's first RPI release of the season. Soccer will welcome Buffalo and Akron to the Briner Sports Complex Friday and Sunday. Women's volleyball hosts both Central and Eastern Michigan universities this weekend at Worthen Arena. The Cardinals hold a record of 4 wins and 10 losses as they look to improve their record in Mid-American Conference play. The Texans are taking on the Patriots tonight in a game that could potentially mean a lot for the Colts in a couple weeks.
The Cornerstone Center for the Arts is hosting a popular cult classic next week.
That and more when NewsLink Indiana returns.
Thank you.
You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough.
I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Rocky Horror Picture Show is coming to Muncie. Let's take a trip to the local theater to get the story.
Saturday, September 27th, Cornerstone Center for the Arts and After Dark invite you to come to an exclusive screening of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Audience members are welcome to wear Rocky Horror costumes to join in on the fun of the show, and there will even be a costume contest. Zach Allen, not only the director of the show, but also plays the lead role of Dr. Frankenfurter, tells us why the show is so special.
It's not like any film you've ever seen before. If you've never seen the Rocky Horror Show live, it's people don't come to watch the film, they come to experience it. So there's people yelling back at the screen, people interacting with squirt guns or newspapers or lighters, and there's just this whole world that the audience gets sucked into that they get to participate in.
Zach also explains that the film is not the only event of the night.
After the burlesque, then we have the pre-show activities for all attendees, the general admittance, and that's going to include our virgin initiation and sacrifice. That's an activity that we do every year. It's a different game or some sort of weird ritual that initiates people who have never been to see the Rocky Horror Picture Show live.
Sounds like a great way to get involved on the madness and excitement. Saturday night, these seats will be filled with Rocky Horror fans experiencing the fantasy and all the activities of the night, so make sure to join in on the fun. The doors open at 7:30 p.m., and there will also be an after party at Be Here Now concluding the festivities. Fans, friends, and family held a vigil Wednesday night for Atlanta rapper Shawty Lo. Shawty Lo, best known for his 2005 Billboard hit Laffy Taffy, died in a car crash in southwest Atlanta early Wednesday morning. His car went over a guardrail, causing him to be thrown from the vehicle, killing the 40-year-old rapper at the scene and injuring 2 female passengers. The 2 women who were with him were hospitalized with injuries that were not considered life-threatening. He leaves behind 11 children. A presidential nominee is answering some tough questions on a popular online comedy show. Hillary Clinton made an appearance on the show Between Two Ferns. Show host comedian Zach Galifianakis asked Clinton questions regarding pantsuits and Donald Trump. At one point, Clinton joked about how she regretted appearing on the show. President Barack Obama was a guest on the show in 2014 as he encouraged young people to sign up for the Affordable Care Act. Live in the newsroom, I'm Sammy Pankel. Back to you at the desk.
Yeah, guys, so these weather temperatures are looking pretty warm still. Like I said, 88 degrees tomorrow, and those temperatures will be pretty high for the next several days.
Looking good for the weekend.
That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 p.m. right here on Cardinal Vision.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a great night.